would be if they learn TRIZ. Over to you, Barbara.
Okay, I just would like to know, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, good. So yeah, hello everybody. I'm happy to be here. And I like to, also ich habe jetzt wieder irgendwas gedrückt, was glaube ich nicht gut war. So, yeah, to introduce myself, I like to start with my presentation and I show you a little bit what I'm working. So my name is Barbara Grunauer, as you know, and since 97, I'm working self-employed. I started earlier with idea development for myself and later for my customers. And the topic was always about what could be a very good product or what could be a very good service for them. And by the time I had the wish to work more with technical companies, and that was the reason why I searched for some method which could help me to talk to them, to talk to engineers and to help them that they feel more creative and in the same time that they could work systematically on their problems they want to solve. That's the reason why I was interested in learning TRIZ. And as you know, working together with Horst, you all earlier had here in the TRIZtalks, we are a TRIZ team with the TRIZ Academy. And beside this, I'm also a mindfulness teacher, and my main area of work is to work as a systemic process designer for transformation management. So I'm more working in organizational development, and in coaching. And for this, I learned more things around. So for example, I also did a Scrum Master, learned design thinking, and yeah, did some studies. Here you see some pictures when I'm working with people. It's more about different situations. It could be trees, it could be also more working with a leader, maybe working out a new work style, because working agile needs other attitudes in the work, and bringing this together, maybe dynamize an organization to make it faster in bringing out some results. This is a very big topic here where I stay. I'm living in Germany, and here a lot of companies are already old, to say this. So maybe they have some years of experiences, and then the people mostly think they know how to manage all processes. And that means they have big data highways or thinking highways in their heads. And for them, sometimes it's difficult to break out and just to act in another way. So for that reason, I'm very interested in combining the TRIZ method, the work of ideation process design, together with my knowledge of change management. And this works very well because when I met TRIZ the first time, I did a basic training with Horst. I remember it. I just thought, oh, I know a lot of these tools because the systemic thinking of change managers is quite similar to the systemic thinking of TRIZ people. And so in my eyes, it's a very good way to use this knowledge for every area. And as I know about the papers we can read worldwide, I'm not the only person in this. There are many people who use TRIZ for other areas than technical topics like me. So to talk about, or today, what's my idea, what I would like to talk about with you is I prepared a little bit a text because PV told me I could prepare somehow an impulse, and I thought, okay, maybe I will present somehow we think here, or what my way of thinking is, or maybe somebody could turn out the microphone. Okay, so here we are talking mostly about sustainability, and I would like to share how I think about this And so I have prepared a short talk, and because I'm not so used in talking this in English, I just will give you a little speech and share my current thoughts with you, which are guiding me in my consulting work. And you see here the picture of a toothbrush. It's a very early toothbrush, and it's one of the pictures I use if I talk about trends of engineering system evolution. And so this is the entry in my little text here. So in the early stages of mankind, it became apparent that man was able to search for and build tools to meet his daily needs. So, for example, preparing food, or here maybe cleaning somehow the tooth. Yeah. From these experiences of meeting his daily needs, man learned. Over time, his need to take precautions and to stockpile arose. Because of this need for precautions, he thought about how he could cultivate crops or preserve meat, for example. And we all know this. If we take a look at the trends of engineering system and we build up how the waste of products are, yeah, we just know this. And in museums on the history of mankind, we can admire ancient finds from earlier advanced civilizations on all continents. So, for example, from ancient Egypt, the Indus culture, or the Inca or Aztec empires. So always connected with this development of mankind were also forms of struggle, empowerment, competition, and demarcation. So that brought me to abundance in some areas of the world. And I think if people always have a huge selection available, this huge choice becomes normal. If goods are available at all times, they are no longer considered something special. Or to put it another way, am I always happy because I have everything, can do everything, can fulfill every wish, or am I actually only very happy about a thing or a situation which is rarely or only once available and therefore is something special? I mean, I'm talking about this area where I stay, and by this I don't mean the basic needs of people, but luxury goods and goods that can be had in a variety of forms and that are thrown away after a very short period of use. So let us take a look here. On my next picture, you see the several kinds of toothbrushes, and it's just a collection from the latest years here. And the last one here, take the ultrasonic toothbrush, which I'm a big fan because, as you know, Philips is working with Triz, and we all know a very good Triza, Triznik from Netherlands. And I thought, well, I will try this wonderful toothbrush. But then I was very sad because when it began to rattle, we only managed once to repair it. It was really difficult even to bring out the akku. For example, the battery, you couldn't, yeah, it's very difficult. You throw away everything, and yeah, that's quite sad. So why I'm sharing these thoughts here? I can only speak for me and do not know what the situation is in other countries. With regard to the main parameters of value, I think it is important that we incorporate the value of sustainability more consistently in our innovation processes, also especially here in this country. And for this, it is not enough that we, for example, only focus on single aspects like less packaging, though this is a big topic here if you talk about how to start it. On the one hand, it is about questioning the entire consumption and stocking behavior, and on the other hand, it is about releasing an updated process of product and process development in which both the effects of production and the whereabouts of the ingredients are checked so that everything that harms nature and people can be eliminated. And I think this word eliminated, we know very well from function analysis and trimming. So we should be very good in eliminating somehow some components which have a harmful effect. So maybe it's a question, do we realize if some component has a harmful effect or not? And this is maybe where we need another attitude to check it again. So in order to be able to do more justice to the sustainability goals, a rethink is needed on all sides. So, for example, on the part of the manufacturers, by treating nature and marginalized groups along the supply chain more responsibly. And there is a good beginning. We have new laws which tell the companies they have to check it in a better way, they have to work in another way together. Behaving cooperatively towards them and sharing revenues more equally among those involved. And adapting production less to profit, but more to actual needs. I think this will be one of the biggest challenges because changing our economical system, this is quite difficult. And it's not about that we not should earn money, but it's more about being more, being more justice in doing this. And on the part of the consumers, by consuming more responsibly with nature and marginalized groups in mind. So thinking about who are the products produced? Is this a health way for the people who are doing this? And asking themselves which consumption is really necessary and why? And checking whether the product purchased can be reused, recycled, or deconstructed. And here I will give you another example with my mobile phone, for example. I bought a Fairphone, and when I talk to other people about my phone, they say, okay, this is quite heavy and this is quite thick. And I say, yes, that's true. I'm also a little bit sad about this, but it's a Fairphone. I can open it, I can repair everything, I can reuse everything. It's a sustainable phone. It's not just a phone. It's a sustainable phone, and I accepted that it has maybe some disadvantages, but maybe one day they could even eliminate this. As we all know, we can solve contradictions, and maybe it will be possible once, even if we just use a chip or so by handling everything under our skin, then we won't have any problems with heavy smartphones. So my last idea, so I want to share, is companies and consumers have the innovation capacity for this change. I'm really sure. And more than just promising technical functionality, it is more about an actual value proposition, a value promise that arises from a value attitude, a value appreciation towards nature and people. And for this value promise, companies can combine the theoretical knowledge, like the theory of inventive problem solving, with the emotional intelligence of the individual employee. So in order to orient corporate action towards the common good. So after all, we humans, no matter what our position is, we know exactly what is meaningful and what is not, because that is what our conscience tell us. So this is the reason why I'm very interested in change management of organizations, where we talk about mindful innovation or mindful leadership, because this is about that the people could follow their conscience and their hearts, because they feel that if we don't change the situation, our children won't have a very good life, probably. And in this way, companies can help to start the responsible actions also of each individual. So they can prepare another product world that the people can consume in another way. And I think this is a very, very good starting point for the next product development processes, or maybe the optimization of production processes, where we all can use trees in a very helpful way. So this was my little impulse, just to share with you what's in my heart, what I'm thinking about, and how to use trees even in this way. Thank you. So, and I prepared some questions. Yeah, sure. I wanted to show you this example of toothbrush, um, which I find very funny, because here you see the old one. Also here, this very early toothbrush. Then we had all these development with, also here with the ultrasonic in the end. And here we go back because we have another way of ingredients in this little pill. So they use this little pill and they say it's enough to use this sustainable toothbrush. I mean, we could not discuss this in a very well way because we don't know exactly if the results of the cleaning process will be same. But I found it funny because this is tooth paste, which is sustainable. So they have no bad ingredients which could worsen the water. And yeah, I found it funny because it's very, very near to the old toothbrush. Yeah, and starting the discussion, I just want to show how I think we should talk about ideality so that it's more useful, like every time, but also regenerative. That would be very great if the products could be, or the companies could be regenerative and bring something good back. And also that's, I can't tell you the word, distributive. And as we know, we always have to pay something. We know we use energy, resources, materials for our production processes, but we could take a look that we do it in a circular economy way. That would be very helpful. And as PV has invited me, I know it's about questions you might have for me, but I also would like to ask you a few questions. I would like to know, how is it in your country when you work? I think you have a lot of startups too. Probably they are all very sustainable, I think so. And how do you see the situation? What are your experiences? I would be happy to learn from you and your experiences. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Barbara. And is there anyone asking the question? Thanks for opening the forum for question answers, Barbara. But basically, the intention of yeah, that was really great. And the intention of doing this talks was all, and the participants mostly are those who are not, who have not yet learned TRIZ. Those who
Oh,
are
okay.
interested in TRIZ and they want to know what would be the benefits they are going to get if they use TRIZ and how
Mm,
to learn TRIZ and the other things about this the TRIZ. It is more about the awareness or igniting the like a spark in people, like we should learn TRIZ. That is the format. So I don't think there would be many questions, but of course at the same time I see many experts in TRIZ also who are attending it. So if there are any questions, forum is open. Please feel free to ask questions to Barbara or vice versa as Barbara has chosen to.
Barbara, good morning. This is Deepak. Again, really nice to hear you once again on how TRIZ is used to drive sustainability. And I have one question. When we talk of TRIZ as a solution process evolved using the existing solutions available, existing solution library. Is there any library for sustainable solutions that you refer to other than what conventionally TRIZ gives a scientific database or function-oriented search, so that we could fast track this process of adapting sustainable innovation?
mm. Um, I haven't done the research. I know that in the group from the trees people from Germany, they're in the we have an association of engineers, and there they started to collect examples and also as a sustainable examples, I think related to the innovation principles. If Horst would be here, he could tell us something about it because he is part of the group, as I know. And we prepared, for example, now how we could use the trees process analysis in combining with some aspects of the greener production. But I think we need more and more overwork maybe, or maybe develop a little bit more the trees tools to make this procedure faster, so that we combine the thinking of both, because it's not typical a trees thing that we would care sustainability. Trees is trees, and the attitude how you use trees, this is if you make it better for the world as a greener or not, but it's not a tree's original aspect. But I think, as we always see in the papers of conferences, for example, people start developing the trees tools further. We also could bring it in. So, for example, in this trees paper we have prepared for the Matrix conference, there we explain our thinking, how we could check how the production steps, the operations of the process are made, and where does the ingredients come from. And we checked out if we could do somehow a value analysis of this process to identify very fast where we have to change maybe in material or maybe the outcome of a process. And I hope that there will be more tools which address this. But probably this, Horst, if you are here.
Yeah, host is there.
I'm here.
Could you tell us something about this database?
Yeah, maybe a question to all participants. Could you mute your phone? Your microphone?
Accidentally, it seemed Mr. Sumit had put it on, but now it is not there.
Okay,
You can go
perfect.
ahead, host.
Perfect. I hope I hear a little lag.
Sorry.
All is well. Yeah, the group of engineers Barbara talked about started a project about collecting examples of sustainable inventions and innovations. So we could derive the principles behind those innovations and maybe identify the most valuable principles in trees to generate those solutions, or that lie behind those solutions. So this is a very new field, and I think at the time when this database or the collection starts, the group will send out globally an invitation to take part in this sample collection. So you can enter your own examples into the database, and later this will be explored for the principles behind those solutions.
Mm. Maybe some aspect I would like to give to this, or to add this here. If you see this aspect, it's about ideality. And ideality is, if we prepare a workshop, for example, to create a new product, then mostly we start in the beginning discussing what is the aspect we are talking about, what is the target, and when would be this product, for example, be a very good product. And usually the people always talk about the customer view. They want to be customer oriented. And I would say in this time now, it's not enough just to be customer oriented. It is helpful maybe if you have a customer in view who is also interested in buying sustainable products. But as we have a lot of people still in our society who are not really aware of this, it could be helpful if here the discussion would not only be to design a customer-oriented product, but also a nature-oriented product. And we use this first picture here to describe what is the function of our product, what should be the benefit of it. And then I think we can add here all these further questions. If we produce it, how can we find a way that it's a circular economy aspect we can use? And on the benefit side, we can talk about not about the function but also about how could this be a win, also a benefit for the nature. So is there, for example, a chance to design a product which gives something back to the nature and not just taking something out? And I think for this, it could be worth to describe a procedure. So this, thank you very much for this question, because now I feel very inspired that we maybe could write it down and yeah, give it as an inspiration back to the tree snakes.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara, for that answer.
Yeah, any other question? In fact, I like the way you said, like, TRIZ is TRIZ, like whether you want it to be define the problem properly and your focus, the target. And based upon that, TRIZ will work. TRIZ is an innovative problem solving process, and it will definitely give inventive solutions for that. I really appreciate it.
Mm. Yeah,
Any
it's
other
sometimes
questions?
yeah, we have had this discussion if maybe we need a trend of sustainability, but I'm not sure because we also have no trend for health, or I don't know, something like this abstract. So I think it's more how the people think who are using the trees methods. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, maybe I can, I don't know what would be helpful. What would you like to know about organizing trees workshops maybe, or things like this?
Yeah, you can go ahead with that. And as this, you are a board member of Matri's also, Matri's official also. So you can put some highlight on that as well.
Yeah, maybe I can share with you why I like to combine also this mindfulness practice together with trees, and I also do this in trees workshops sometimes. I'm not sure if everybody of you is using this mindfulness practices for yourself, but the process of creativity, which is also part of trees, you have had a trees talk about with, I think, with maybe Simon Litvin. Maybe he has talked a little bit about this. Imagination is very important, and if you have the ability to use your imagination to create new ideas in your head, that you can paint it more or less in your head, then you are in a very good mood to use trees, for example, if it's about optimize products where you want to reduce costs, for example, and use a procedure which is called trimming. And for this, for example, we design a function analysis, and this is a model where you line out which components are part of the product and how these components are interacting. And then you take a look with the value analysis, which of these products are maybe very expensive, but they give a very, very small benefit to the functionality of this product. And to bring them out, these components who are not very valuable, this is easier if you are able to create this new picture of the product in your head. I tell this because if I'm here in a workshop with some engineers, for example, I can see that sometimes the people they think about how could I get out some components, but they immediately they tell us, no, that's not possible because without this component, then the functionality won't be given. And we say, okay, but trees works in another way around. It works in another way around in that way that you first line out your theoretical model. So this is very abstract. You just take out theoretically the components who are not wished anymore. And then you build a new picture of this theoretical product. And from this theoretical product, you give this task to your brain and you say your brain, okay, come on, you see here this theoretical picture and now it is your work to to use all your synapses in your brain to come out with some new ideas how this theoretical model could be realized in with real components. As we know here in Germany, also some companies, big companies like Bosch or Siemens and so on, use the mindfulness experiences or ways to help the people to feel more relaxed and focused, and they have really good results because even especially in the research and development departments where they also have projects where they use these mindfulness experiences, they really could reach, as they really could increase better results for the people who are working in these processes. And just thinking about the brains and how it works, it's very helpful if people who are or who want to be creative are able to work very concentrated in something. So, for example, thinking how something could be done or calculating things or these things. But on the other hand, it's also very helpful if the person could relax very well, because then if you let go the idea that you want to have an answer, if you are able to let go this question, then your brain feels free and can use this freedom to just use all association or analogies and so on to come back with some, wow, I have an idea effects. And yeah, this is a very good way to combine both the mindfulness practice we learn from your country, I would say, and maybe the typical way of TRIZ method usage. Yeah, this is also what I'm working on.
That is really a new dimension which we have heard, because this is, you as you know, this is the 16th chapter of TRIZtalks, and every time we like to bring something new, and this time we have really brought something which many people like to do in mindfulness, of course in India as well as abroad also. So thanks for opening up this different dimension to TRIZ, and of course TRIZ is useful, and that is what yeah, it is really good. Any other
Yeah.
participant, you can ask even some basic questions. Don't hesitate. Barbara is well experienced in it. She has conducted many trainings also. So feel free to ask. Okay. Barbara, like how someone should start learning TRIZ? What would be your like indicators why an engineer? Because most of the participants seems to be engineers. So why an engineer should learn TRIZ and how it will be benefited? Very general question.
Yeah, I've done some interviews with some students we had, and I have asked them after the training what has been the benefit to them. And they told me one aspect, for example, was very important to them, that they reached a better feeling that the first idea they have, if they see some new task, for example, that this is not the end of the answer. So what I want to say is, if you learn TRIZ and you realize, for example, the inventive principles, these inventive principles which are based on patents of also thousands of patents, as you already know, I think, then you will find ways of thinking. Also in the principles, you will find described ways of thinking that you already do. So you think sometimes you might think, okay, yeah, I know I can separate things, or I can dynamize things, or I can use another dimension and so on. But the benefit is if you are more used to use this inventive principles, for example, you understand that there is not only one answer, but there is the chance to create maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 solution models for a task. And the advantage of several answers to one task is that you then later can check, okay, which one would be to realize very easy or maybe with less resources than the other one. And I don't know how is the work in your country. I just can tell you from but here sometimes the engineers are very happy if they have just one idea and then they run away and say, okay, I'm going to my advisor and I tell him we have solved this problem. And Trees would say, okay, no, we just collect some more and we will create concepts of solutions. And with this concept of solutions, we already have solved several contradictions, for example, with physical as a physical contradictions or technical contradictions with these inventive principles or maybe separation principles. And with this training and with this understanding that there are always more answers, these students told me if they are working on their desk, they always have a better feeling. I think there is some more solution. I just have to go a little bit deeper. I will check the inventive principles. I will go into this task and I will check it. And this, they described this feeling that there could be a better answer. This is the most important thing. And I think we can as for us, this is a very good answer because then we get better solutions. I think so. If you take a deeper look and if you check if you can find new solutions, which are not just the repeating of the thinking you do every day, because also Einstein told us, yeah, we can't solve problems from today with the thinking of yesterday, more or less. So for that, I'm very happy about this. This is one reason you should learn trees to see that you are very creative and that you are an inventor thinking because you find that you use this way of thinking like we teach in trees, but then you can really profit from this, that you are able to use it in a faster way, in a more systematically way, and to become really a troubleshooter in your area, and that you can share this in the same language. If you learn trees in a team, for example, then you talk all the same language, like you learn English, for example, then you learn trees, and you have the advantage that you can talk together and everybody understand what's happened. And the second thing I find very helpful for engineers is that trees is all about changing parameters. And I think if you understand this, that every product is there because it will change a parameter of something or someone, then we have a very clear description of functionality. And with this very clear description, we also could check, is this change of the parameter a positive change or is it maybe a negative change? And this, as I gave my little entry, which was maybe a little bit pathetic, I think if you design a new product and you think about parameter change, then you really could always check, even if you don't know trees, but you always can check, does it has a very positive impact or maybe a negative impact. And then trees give you tools, for example, functional analysis for products or functional analysis for processes, or maybe the Suffield analysis, and help you to do this in a very fast way, checking out what are maybe the impacts and how to solve these problems you find then there.
That was a great answer. And in fact, I would resonate with your feeling that whenever someone gets the first solution, they are very happy and they start implementing it. And that is something which is like a mental inertia, which is to be broken by the help of Triz, and it
Mhm.
really helps. Right. So, any other question? There was someone trying to unmute himself or herself. Okay, meanwhile, by the time some question populates, I would like to ask my favorite question. What do you feel is a right age for learning, Triz? At what age? Yeah.
Oh, I would say you could start with your children. So, maybe do I have it here? There's a wonderful book. It's called Dennis the Inventor. And this is a storybook which is really helpful to work with children. So you also, I would say, learning the way of thinking of Tris is really helpful if a child is growing up, because a child is so curious and wants to try out so many things and likes to think about little tasks and maybe problems. So, for example, how to close the window if it's raining. Could we find somehow a way? Or maybe, oh, there's a big stone in the way. How could we move it? And all these things. So this is a very good starting point. But as we have here, maybe not only parents in the room, I would say it's also a very good time to learn trees if pupils, also for pupils in school, especially if they are growing. I may, for example, if you have people in the age between 13 and 18, for example, when they start thinking about what they would like to work maybe later, what could they learn as profession, I would say they also want to become more emancipated from home, so they want to live their own lives maybe, and the way of thinking that you are able to understand the whole system, that you get a system view and you think systematically. This is also systemic and systemically, these are two different parts. So, but if you can both and you have a bigger view for maybe impacts and what your own behavior could, also what could be the impact of your own behavior, I think this could also be a very helpful way of thinking for people who are growing up as a youngster, for example. And yeah, if we would train the young people, we don't need to teach them this thinking if they are adults. I think this is a very, very big advantage, as I know, for example, in the trees society has a long history in teaching children and students, and I think this is a very good way that to train this systemic point of view for the whole world, to see the whole world and to see the interactions in the world. So, but if you are also already an engineer, you might be maybe in the 20s or 30s, and yeah, you can learn trees every time, even if you are 80. I don't know if this was your question, PV, but I would
Uh,
answer it in
I
that
would
way.
like to make a correction. I'm not PV. PV is busy today.
Ah, so you
I'm
are not
Sandeep.
PV. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
I'm
Sandeep.
saying I was wondering that PV is here because he wrote me that he can't be here.
Yeah, yeah.
You haven't
So,
changed your name.
oh, I didn't do that. This is our admin
I'm
login, no?
sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Okay.
but I really appreciate your answer that you have covered the all gamut of that. Yes, definitely, kids should catch thriz while they are young. But
Mm,
even host is also saying the same thing, that it is never too late to learn the thriz. So it is always like a student, like a trainer, and both of you are having same thing. And in fact, it is universal truth that I also know a couple of people who had their brilliant like career, and
mm,
post retirement, saying that we lost so many opportunities just because we did not know about this earlier.
mm,
A few of them have already participated in our three talks as well.
mhm,
So this is a universal truth. Whatever it has, one has to learn. there is no age, no bar that when we should start learning it.
Mm.
True.
Yeah, I mean the brain scientists know that our brain is able to learn until the last day, so there is no reason to stop learning.
Yeah, exactly. So any other question? Okay. So
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry. I would like to add here something.
you're welcome, Sumit.
Yeah, hi Barbara. This is Sumit
Hi.
here from India. So I am please uh, uh, learner only, first stage. Okay, and last 6 months we are
Is something
practicing.
wrong with your microphone, Sumit? Or
Uh,
it is something?
I can
Okay,
hear.
okay.
I can hear
Now
you
it's clear.
properly. Is it?
Yeah, yeah. Now it is
Is it
clear.
okay?
Go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm a practitioner of this TRIZ stage one. So and I'm 33 years old only. So, but one thing,
You may say 33 years young.
yeah. So, but one thing I would like to share one thing. So in my team, we have like 20 years old, 30 years old, and 50 years old person who all practicing this trees. But one thing I feel here, the new engineers, they are very easy to accept something, whatever they wanted to change in a very short period. But the person who are more than 30, 40 years or 50 years old, they are very I mean they are hesitating to change something during the this period. So this is one thing I experience with the team. So
Mhm,
my recommendation is, uh, I think a person has to start this practicing from beginning itself, so they can get the real they can feel the real beauty of this experience. This is what one thing I wanted to say here.
mhm. Yeah, thank you, Samit. I think it's this is a very important aspect. You always could find some resistance in workshops, for example, or if teams work together. And this, so for example, that the people don't want to change something or so. But this is more, in my eyes, it's more relating to earlier successes. So for example, if you work a longer time in a company and then you have designed some new product, it's nearly your baby. So which you has born, and you feel a very deep connection to this product. So I would say it's more about being human, and that the people, they care their babies and they want to let grow them, so they make here a little feature and there a little feature, and then they optimize it somehow that it could live very long, like you want to have a long life family, for example. And to break this, that the people maybe have a easier chance to, yeah, to let go their products they have designed by themselves. It could be helpful to take a little bit time and to talk in the group with these people about the very good results they have realized for the company, and say thank you for this, and describe what has this brought to them. So maybe you have earned money with this, or you have reached a very good image, maybe, for example, for your company, and so on. So it was a very helpful thing that these people have done this, maybe, and it's important to appreciate this and to say thank you. But as also the nature always lives in circles, so we know we have flowers, they are a seed and then they grow up, then you see the flower and then it will die. So this is a normal thing. And also we have products which are changing. So the phones maybe have been earlier really different. And to explain to people that we always have circles with all things, this could be very helpful, and to tell them that it's time to start a new creative phase for the next product line. So if you think in S-curves, maybe you have seen about it or learned about it, that we have S-curves, which are describing the product life cycle. So it's normal. And if you talk about what are you using, do you live exactly like you have lived maybe 20 years ago, or have there been any changes? If you just take the time to talk about things like this, to make obvious that we all are changing a lot in our lives, then it could be less hard for these people to let go maybe things and to accept that you need a new way of designing or maybe a new way of outlining your new ideas or your products. Was this an answer or maybe a comment for your okay, thank you.
Fully agree. Fully agree. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think sometimes in this, I don't know what about India, but in Germany, sometimes I think we take too less time for being humans together in these workshops or maybe at the workplaces. So we have more this trend to come back to this, that we have small talks together, that we stop just only functioning like a machine and being more humans again. And if we could be more humans, then we could be more appreciative with each other. We could talk about our feelings, and I think, I don't know if it's normal to talk about feelings in your workshops, but here it's not that normal. It's more to bring it in again, that people also could say, okay, I'm really sad about that, my product will go. But if we take the people, also the humans as whole, so we are not only the head, which is very thinking in theory of trees, for example, but we are the whole, and we are with a heart, and we also have our belly where our will is. So, and it's important to bring the whole person into the rooms. And if we accept this, and if we design our workshops like this, that we appreciate if the person in the whole is in the room, I would say the work would be better and the procedure could be more fluent. Yeah, this is my experience. The people are happier, and the ideation process has more fun. Yeah.
That's great. And definitely, Barbara, we are going to bother you again to listen something more on Triz and mindfulness. And that would be like a really a different dimension, as I mentioned. So, is there any other question, participants? So definitely, if you do not have any questions right now, we'll be connecting you. You can share your questions with me directly on info@trizasia.com. And I'm sure on behalf of Barbara, I promise you that you will get the answers of that. And looking forward for more and more interaction with you, Barbara. Thank you so much on behalf of Triz Asia, Triz Association, like a student chapter which is there in AISSMS College of Engineering also. So we are really thankful for your presence, and again thanks for waiting because there were some technical issues and we started late.
Okay,
So
I just
yeah,
maybe you allow me.
sure, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would like to invite you all to the Mattress Official Conference, the ITC, International Trees Conference, which will be in the beginning of September. And there will be a tutorial to these aspects where I'm combining mindfulness with the trees or maybe the creative process. So maybe if you would like to get some insights, it could be helpful to take part there. And I would be happy to see you again there. And even we have very interesting topics at the conference too, where will be a real-time work on a problem. So this could be also very informative for people who don't know trees. How would be the procedure for solving a real problem, which is from a company from Austria, which will be presented there maybe. So, but I would like to say thank you very much. I haven't got any answers. I wanted to hear. I'm very curious to know what about sustainability in your companies where you are working. When you all are engineers, it would be interesting to know how is the procedure in your companies. And but okay, it wasn't the topic. I understand, and I thank you very much for your being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. And dear participants, we are looking forward for one of the again a great practitioner. And as we have every last Friday of month, we have this TRIZ talks. So please stay tuned. We'll be very soon opening it. 28th of July, we'll be having our next session, and we'll be informing who would be there with us, interacting and sharing their experiences. Okay. So with
Okay.
this, I declare that today's program is over. Thanks for being with us. And as I mentioned, if you have any question, feel free to send it to us. And thank you, Barbara, for sharing about the Matri's official conference. And we are also sharing all this information with all the participants. So I'm sure most of them we would be able to see over them. Thank you.
Okay.
Have
Thank
a
you. Bye
great day
bye.
ahead. Bye bye.
Have a good time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Same to you.